Right, today I am in the Peugeot E-208. This is the GTI facelift edition 2024. Right, so we're in the back of the Peugeot E-208. Definitely a smaller door width to get yourself into. Kind of hit my side as I came in here. I'd say in terms of room, my drive position is set. Got about 10 centimeters or 4 fingers between the back. Luckily it goes inwards here, so you get more leg room. Quite open space, it is quite contained. Not as open as like the Bourne or ID3, but everything is a lot smaller, quite smaller windows. Some hard plastic up top and softer where your elbows are going to be. And a electric up and down for the electric windows at the back and silver door handles. Got some spacing underneath my legs, so they're not getting fully supported, but I can put my feet underneath the chair, which is fine. USB A and C in the middle there, so that's not too bad. And you've got some headrests. Full 4 fingers and thumb room for me. I'm 172 centimeters, so this is perfect for me, but anyone taller might start to struggle. And you can take these rear out if they're going to get in the way. They do go down. There is a high center point, so it is a sort of combined petrol and electric edition, so it's not a flat bottom. So the centre person might have a little bit less room to manoeuvre, but at least you can get some feet underneath if you were going to straddle the middle. There's no centre armrest in here, and the boot does 60/40. Some little compartment at the back here, and it is hard plastic, so that's going to be much more wearing than a full leather back is going to be. But overall it's a nice space in the back. No real major problems other than if you are a little bit too high in your height. Taking a quick look at the boot then, excuse the mess, this is a dealer-owned test car. The E208's boot reflects its B-segment size with a 311 litre of boot space. And with the seats folded down, you get a full 1,106 litres of boot space. So as for the driver section, I do kind of hit this wheel as I come in. The door's obviously a little bit narrower than I'm used to with the Golf with the 3-door. The whole centre compartment is kind of facing the driver. That's really nice to see. Less important for the passenger, whether they'd like that. Loads of piano black plastic. I'm not really a fan of that. Up on top here, there's GT badge. This is the GT edition. Small little cubby hole at the back here. Someone's got a key in. And 2 drinks holders. And this is where your drive selector, park and regenerative braking as well. It does not go to a full stop, it does creep, so there's no one pedal driving. You have 2 USB-C input ports. The one on the right I believe is for CarPlay and the left is just for charging. There is a wireless charging plate on the top here which does fit an iPhone 15 Pro and most likely a Pro Max potentially. It does feel like quite tight to fit a Max in there and still charge the phone, but there's that option, as well as resting it on there like that and using it in that way. The screen is very narrow. You've got obviously the fancy 3D effect screen. So we press the start button with the pedal down, everything all comes alight. So there's the default display at the moment, and the Peugeot system does take a while to connect, but it will connect to CarPlay with my phone connected, and now we have CarPlay running. In a very narrow screen, but at least it's full width, not full height. But there's some system bar at the top here which eats up the space. That's not too bad. Coming back and forward between the systems is like this kind of drawer here. You've got climate controls, locking the car, max AC, which really does blast it out, which is kind of what we need for today. And then you've got various AC on and off. I'm not quite sure, I think that's just recirculation mode. And then you can tap these buttons here to go into specific assistant modes, home, and then you can enter navigation and so on. And then I think you can set these 2 little dots here for your own personal taste, and you've got climate controls as well, which you can then interact with. It is a bit of a reach for me. I'm at full arm stretch here and I can't touch the screen. I do have T-Rex arms though, so do bear that in mind. If you've got longer arms, then that's not a problem. Down here you've got a 12 volt adapter for anything 12 volt related, like a dash cam. Then you've got driver selector modes, handbrake, which is automatic as well. The wheel itself is very small. You can just about see, my eyes are about like that. So it does cut into that view a little bit and makes it a little bit jarring. But you can bring the wheel up and down if you want it, but I feel I wouldn't want to make this any lower because I start to hit it as I enter the car. Some controls down here for the windows, very self-explanatory. You can switch left and right to change the mirrors. That's nice to see. But overall, it's a nice sort of sweeping cockpit. I do like their design. It's definitely more futuristic than most cockpits. And you've got nice bucket seats-ish, bucket seats. They do have bolsters on the edges, which help keep you in. I've only driven it in eco at the moment, so I've put it into sport mode and we're going to take it for another drive all the way back to the dealership and see how that goes. So let's get started and take this for a spin. Right, so that's all recording, we're all set up. Let's go. So we're going to try our driving modes, which goes normal, sport. I'm going to leave it in sport. We're now in sport. I'm going to switch this back to CarPlay. Not quite sure where I'm going to go. I've got about 20 minutes. So I think I'll go on the bypass and then come back through town. So we're going to do a little bit of a fast movement to get the sound quality like at speed. And then we'll go back through urban and see how it is like that as well. So let's get this into reverse mode. Got a nice camera. I'd say the camera quality isn't great, if I'm honest. So we're gonna reverse, hopefully not into anything, and then drive. The AC is on, so if you hear a little whirring sound, that is the AC. And we're gonna get ourselves onto the straight. So there's regenerative braking. If I put it into B mode and I go, say 20 miles an hour, and slow down, it's very calm regenerative braking, but it doesn't stop you. It puts you down to like 5 miles an hour creep. So let's give it the beans. So yeah, so that's a nice way of doing the acceleration. It's not like literally throw you back in the chair, but it does throw you back in the chair eventually. I'd say it's a little bit more subtler than the Mini Cooper. It doesn't give you the oomph all the time, but it gives it in a nice way, and then it accelerates calmly, let's put it that way. Destination. So we're going to do a bit of motorway first. I'm going to dial this in so I know how long I've got left to take the car back. So we've got a few more minutes. I think the view is nice. The screen here isn't too far up. This space here is very narrow, so the whole entire cockpit is very narrow to drive. And the LED display is nice. It's not overpowering, but if I had the option for heads-up display, I probably would go for that and reduce the height of this. This wheel is nice. It's very light. And it has the adaptive cruise control on the GT line, so that's a nice option to have, especially in the UK with all the traffic that we're receiving right now on the motorways. But handling wise, it's a nice handling car. It's not too rolly, but it's definitely in the league of the Cooper in terms of a town car. If you're after a town car on a budget, then maybe this is not a bad option. But I believe the lease costs, or at least the PCP or the rentals, are quite dear for this particular car versus the Mini. The Mini is actually cheaper, and I would say the Mini is less practical. You've got more room in the back in this car for an adult than the Mini. And you've got way more boot space in the Peugeot. It's nice to drive in sport mode though, this. Sport mode and B, I'm in. No sunroof in this particular model. That is an option, I think. But good visibility in the mirrors, they're quite large. Not as large as Minis, but there's definitely good visibility there. Good rear visibility with all the headrests down. You can see where I sat in the back, the headrest is still up. So that's awkward. Let's try Siri whilst driving. Direct me to Tate's Peugeot, Brighton.
Getting directions to Citroën.
That'll do. Okay. So we can turn up about 1 o'clock, so we've got a few more extra minutes than taking this route. So I won't take this whole route. I'll do a 70 to see what the sound of the sound. Now we've got up to 70 to see what the quality of the road noise is. At 70, if I can get past this guy. So I've turned the AC off. We're going 67. A little noise in the mirrors slightly. There is a bit of wind today, but not too much. It's actually quite calm. I'd say the road noise is probably louder than the Mini. 70. And as for the dials, I can show you what the dials do. So we've got driving mode, we've got navigation, which does bring up the navigation route on from my phone. It's not putting in CarPlay at all. So, and then we've got personal, so we won't do that. And we've got energy, which tells you how much energy is going back in through braking, or regenerative braking, and then back into personal. So personally, driving doesn't really give you much. I can't quite see how you turn on the adaptive cruise control. Here's a little bit at night time. Not much is happening. I haven't got automatic lights on, I don't think, but you can see some illumination in the dash, which is quite nice. And it's a nice driver's car with the wheel. It's very nice and sporty. I quite like that. Not a fan of the indicator noise though. It's a little bit Tinker Toy-ish, if that makes sense. A bit toy-like. It's calming though. Less gritty than the natural indicator light noise. Right, so we're going to pull off here and actually go through town and do a little bit of urban. Braking. I had to brake more than I expected. I'll put the AC back on. But as a driver's car, it's actually quite comfortable. Everything's all at hand. And in the urban environment, it actually you can stick it into places and get in front of things as you need to with the acceleration behind, which is very good to see. Sport mode is good. I'd say normal is just as good for that. And then and yeah, it's not a bad drive. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, leave us a like down below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see more videos like this from other vehicles, let me know what type of vehicle you'd like me to test and I'll see if I can make that happen. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.